see it. They watch me like they watch the news. We don't do no talking. We know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no, I got it all back. They just wanna talk, so we gonna talk facts. Got it out the mud, got it out the mud. Really on the blood, really on the blood. Yeah, they know what's up, yeah, they know what's up. It's big froze, big froze. Big froze, big froze. Now that you see it, they watch me like they watch the news. We don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no, I got it all back. They just wanna talk, so we gonna talk facts. Got it out the mud, got it out the mud. Really on the blood, really on the blood. Yeah, they know what's up, yeah, they know what's up. It's big froze, big froze. Big froze, big froze. Now that you see it, they watch me like they watch the news. We don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no, I got it all back. They just wanna talk, so we gonna talk facts. Got it out the mud, got it.
Frozy, welcome back to the channel, man. Happy to see y'all. Hopefully y'all happy to see me. I'm intrigued. I've seen about 100 comments saying, Froze, you go live on Saturday, we pulling up. I want to see who in the chat keep their word. We'll see what the numbers do today. We don't usually do Saturday lives, but it is a Froze-a-thon. It is a 30 for 30 on the channel, and we're going to entertain the people who kept their word and decided to pull up on a Saturday. If you got a little shaky butt, you going to the club, Froze I ain't blocking. That's what it better be. You better have some cheeks set up or going out to try to get some. Ladies, you better be busy. If you don't pull up today. Bunch of members in the building, man. They was dropping members all crazy on our last live. We appreciate it. We're going to start putting content up there for the members only, giving y'all early access to shit and stuff like that. So, Bros is in the building. Bizzle's in the building. Mods, Cloudy in the building. Where's Tony? Where's Tony Superfly at? Where's AK at? Where Cheeks at? Where Freaky at? The mods took a day off. I'm going to switch the thumbnail. Bros took too long. I ended up setting one. I got a fire thumbnail once the video renders. Once it uploads, we'll switch it. Yes, thank you, Anthony. Thank you. We'll talk about that, Darren. I don't know you like that, gang. I don't know you like that, Darren. We'll talk about it, though, bro. I see you got that member. You know, I'll see. We'll talk about it. Flowers with Froze, episode 4. ARP. RBE. This is going to be a fun one. Well, why? Backstories, history, and I was there from day one. Now, I won't claim to know everything, but damn it, I know a lot. And I was there before they start selling out venues. The early days when they were putting that groundwork in. Paying their dues, as ARP would say. Paying my dues. KF Taylor, what up, Brody? So, 2014 is when RBE hit the YouTube streets. It's when ARP, shout out to Shata, shout out to Lawrence and everybody that was staff over the years. ARP hits the scene. Now, this is what's funny. I want to start here. I think this is a cool no. All righty. Can you see the screen? Well, what does that say? URL TV, URLTV.tv. This is a URL battle. Happens to be one of my favorite URL battles of all time. Shout out to my PA brother, Trevor. Justice for Charlie, real deal. King of the dot, multiple time champ. Love him, he's my brother. And there goes my PG brother, B Magic. probably have the least good rapport with him out of everybody, but a lot of respect for Magic, mad love for him, and very inspired during his time when he was running the game with the punchlines. But do you see this guy standing right next to Smack? Well, who is that? Who is that guy standing that close to Smack? Well, that's Adam. That's ARP. And I thought that this was important to show this because this was over a year and a half before he threw his first event. He was scouting, plotting, getting ready to make a move. Now, nobody here in this building knew that this guy right here was going to make one of the biggest battle leagues to ever exist and rival the biggest battle league to ever exist. That is a special picture to me. And then one more time. Who would have known that in 2012, this guy standing next to Smack on stage with a VIP ticket that he purchased would become his biggest rival? I always thought that was special. So here we go. 2 years later, his first event. Let's get back to the reaction. January 20, 2014. This battle was July 12th, 2012. So just under 2 years later, he's throwing cards. Well, who was his main event of that first card? Froze. Froze. So let me explain something to you. Very early, you noticed ARP was not a one and done battle league. Cloudy. You knew early on, just by talking to him, the way he booked, the way he was talking, he was not going to be a one and done guy. Now, speaking for myself, when he called me and booked the Me versus Wave 7 battle, I was going through a very tough time with URL. He couldn't have came around at a better time for Frozenberg, right? My contract was up at URL. Me and Beasley had a fist fight. Well, not a fist fight, but a verbal fist fight. A verbal fist fight where we were talking nasty. I still haven't talked to Beasley since that day. It's been over 10 years. And then here comes ARP opening the door. Now, I did not foresee where he was going to take this league in the next 10 years. But he took it to a special place, right? They do the first event. Now, first off, these are the events that ended up becoming staples for the next decade. Blood, sweat, and tears. Closure. Divide and Conquer. Lift His Soul. Mask On. Pearly Gates. Straight to It. Validation. Max Out. Validation, Max Out have become the events that they started doing yearly, that they started doing consistently, and they started building storylines. Very quickly did you notice RBE was going to be around for a while. Now, the early days of RBE, they were not packed venues, and they were not pay-per-view. Oh, no. ARP always says a quote, paying our dues. We were paying our dues early. He put out a lot of money before he started profiting. And you can call it investments, but he would call it paying his dues. When, no matter who he put on the card, me versus Shotgun Suge, Goods versus Danger Zone. It was always somewhat of an ECW-ish to his league, right? It was always okay, the matchups are there, all the big names that he's able to grab and match him up, but you get there and it just didn't have that URL feel if you were coming from URL, which I was, right? And I'm only speaking through my perspective here. You know, so, you would look at a card like the Pearly Gates or, you know, like Max Out came once they got solidified, but it was a lot of early days where it was a lot more space in them venues than it was people. Before I get back into the storylines, let's talk about this. 92 million views. 92 million views, 490 battles. They have went platinum view-wise over 55 times. Divide and Conquer, yes. 55 time plus platinum. 92 million views. Sheesh. 55 time platinum. Some of the matchups that they have been a part of, that they have put together, are some of the most cornerstone, matchups that we've had in our culture when you look at what they were able to do. So here we go. I ain't gonna hold you. I gotta be acting crazy with these ads, man. Give me a second, y'all. Nasty work. Fuck it, I'll go off my own notes then. You like the Zob. Matchups like Jay Mills versus K-Shine, bringing Mook versus Averb. And during that time, my situation had kind of died down with RBE. Me and him had an issue to where I was on the sidelines, but I started watching. And I started being able to see shit like, I remember the vibe around bringing Mook back to battle Averb. It was a big deal. I remember when K-Shine was brought to battle Jay Mills on his return. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. Here we go. Cassidy versus Hitman Holla. Staple. Murder Mook. Averb. Crazy battle. Arsenal versus QB. Black Diamond. Special battle. Jay Mills versus K-Shine. The Daylight versus King Los. These matchups. Hollow the Don versus Math Hoffa. Man. Daylight versus Ill Will. Calico versus Ill Will. Daylight versus Oops. Murder Mook versus Big K. Goods and Gems. The physical altercation. Right? Calico versus Big K. Big K versus Adi Boom. Math Hoffa versus Show Off. These are Arsenal versus Show Off. These are special Big K Charlie clips. Right? These type of matchups that they will begin doing repeatedly. And, after a while, when you start looking at it in totality, you can kind of see where the tide switched. So they were paying their dues, but then they became a top 3, top 5 league consistently yearly. When did they become a powerhouse league? Corona hit. First thing ARP did was social distancing. He had people battling on camera because we couldn't book a venue. Speed up through Corona. They finally unlock Atlanta. No venue would book anywhere. No venue would let you come outside. There was none of that shit going on in the heart of Corona. ARP risked everybody's life to throw a party. Max Out won. Max Out won is the day they became a powerhouse league, in my opinion. Powerhouse league. He books a venue when we're not supposed to be outside. He books Cassidy versus Hitman Holla, Rosenberg versus Show Off, Ill Will versus A Ward, I believe. Bunch of battles on Max Out. The thing that was special about Max Out was when we pulled up to the venue, there was a line wrapped around the building for a mile. If you remember Gnome, Summer Madness, blackout events, that's how they used to be. This was my first time pulling up to an RBE event. and seeing the line wrapped around the building. Oh, 2,000? 2,000 people? And then the night happened. It was a special event. Everybody was just so happy to be outside. Who cares if we get sick? I'm not vaccinated. Let's go. It's Cassidy versus Hitman. It's Froze versus Show Off. It's Ill Will versus A Ward. Come on. I don't need no mask. I'm in there. And what a special time, man. You just see RBE arrive. It wasn't like RBE wasn't around. It wasn't like RBE wasn't putting work in or didn't put work in or didn't already have their respect at this time. But this was the moment him and Hitman Holla, when he paired up with Hitman Holla, he had already had battles with Hitman where he kind of said, this is my guy. I have a superstar. I have a superstar. I got hitters. I got soldiers. I got your Ill Wills, your Big K's, your Rosenbergs, your Oops, right? I've had those guys, your Jims, your J Murders, right? These were guys who were all kind of URL rejects, if you will. We were kind of, and that's what it was. It was like a place you could go, still get professional battle rap feel, still feel like you belong to something once you got kicked out the whip over here. You know how many careers got revived on RBE? I'm one of them. Big K, 2 URL battles in his whole career. Damn near his whole career has been RBE, KOTD. Show Off. Started on the PGs. He had PGs. Right? Gyms. Who's a URL? J Murder. A lot of us didn't have nowhere to go. ARP built a brand and provided a place. You know, what you couldn't foresee was that better days were ahead. What it did do? You didn't know better days were ahead. You did not know that you were sticking with a league that was going to become a powerhouse, that was going to become a staple. Right? You didn't see that at the time. You were just rocking, partly because you didn't have nowhere to go, but also it felt like a place that you could call home and not kind of, feel like, just feel like a reject. None of us liked hearing that, right? But it wasn't always sunny. So when they got to Max Out, you started to see, whoa, we're making progress here. We're getting hot. The league's getting hot. Are we getting some momentum? Do we got a chance to maybe be the best league in the game at one point? We got Hitman over here. Ill Will was wigging on everything. He was arguably the most complete battle rapper during his RBE tenure. Make no mistakes about it. Big K would be up and down, right? He would have a hot year, okay year, but he was always serviceable as a cornerstone piece, right? 2019, he comes back and he goes and grabs Rosenberg out of the shit barrel trash can. Oh shit, look, Rosenberg Raw. This guy used to be somebody. Let me see if I could clean him up, hit him with the water hose, get this dirt off of him and make him presentable again. He literally walked me back. He walked me back. So now and this is, Show Off had his run already. Jims had his run already. Adi Boom had his run already. Oops had his run already. These were the guys that kind of got us to this point. To this point where it's now Rosenberg, Ill Will, Big K, Hitman. Those were the guys getting the big battles on RBE. And, you would see Max Out 2. We did Max Out 2 right after we did Max Out 1. Hitman versus Calico. Things started changing for everybody once Hitman committed. Because I remember there was a little point in time where it was like, Hitman, yeah, he over there battling with RBE, but is he RBE? Yes, he was. Absolutely, O-Red was putting on shows. He is somebody who I always felt like anytime his situation got rocky, he could float over the ARP shit, spin somebody, and he's the transformer again. Absolutely, that's a good call. Tariq, that's a good call. Once it felt like Hitman committed to the league, we had an act that put us mainstream. Absolutely, he was A Ward was RBE to me, but he never really claimed it like we did. He was booked during the years where we were heavy, but he never really claimed it. And said, "Hey, I'm RBE. This is where I'm at." But he worked for us for sure. Absolutely. So did Chef Trez. Good call, Dub. Good call. I don't mean to act like I'm missing any names either, so I apologize. And feel free to, if you feel like a guy didn't get mentioned or forgot about, that's why I love doing these lives, because I have my notes, I have my history, but sometimes you skip a part or you miss a part, and that's what the chat's there for, right? But once he committed, he put us on the mainstream, put us on the main stage, right? All the, if it's URL or it don't matter, changed when Hitman signed the deal. When Hitman became the franchise player, when Hitman became the main guy at RBE, he gave all of us a chance to perform under the viewership that he brought in. Hitman made RBE viewable in a mainstream way, like a URL. He made our max out look like a gnome, right? And now you got Big K having special performances. His Adi Boom performance, he goes viral, right? Ill Will goes on his run. Rosenberg 2022, I think it was. I go on a run. And OG Ma said, well, because y'all was KFC for a second. KFC was the best nickname we had. It driven everybody in the locker room, right? I remember times like, you know, when we would throw a pay-per-view URL through one in the same city, same day. And in the locker room, let's use the word locker room, you know, a lot of people wasn't saying it, but there was an eerie feeling like, how this pay-per-view gonna go? You know, the big shows in town. Hitman ain't on this card. You know, Hitman ain't on this card. And it seems like we're driving down 85 and you see big ass URL TV billboards. And it was like Atlanta was our territory at that time. They had shifted and went away from New York. And they went to Atlanta. ARP and them took the headquarters to Atlanta. So when you see URL invade Atlanta and go a mile down the street with billboards all over the city, you felt small. You felt small. But that day, Charlie Clips versus Farrah happened, which is one of the highest viewed battles, the third highest viewed battle on the channel. That was a special battle. We didn't miss JC that day. They took JC off the card. He felt like a little void was there. JC was also a little hybrid RBE bull. Don't let him out of you. Shout out to Julian, right? And you know, Clips versus Farrah happened, but and then the Norbs and Twerk situation happened, and it was kind of crazy because the rappers were cool, the leagues really weren't. You know what I mean? So, you know, we were interacting with the URL battle, was texting, damn, was you there? Did you see it? It was like the breaking news that weekend with the Norbs and Twerk situation. And a weekend I'll never forget, because I remember waking up that morning in the hotel and everybody running up and down the hall. It's like, yo, you see it? Hey, Froze, you see that shit? It will, you see? And it was just people in the lobby, morning blunt sale, you know, and it was like, yo, this is crazy. And at that point, we felt like we was back in the game. Oh man, they over there fucking beating up they fucking staff. Right, bro? It's like, over there beating up staff and shit. This is a black eye on the event. We cooking. Our event wasn't light either. We had a nice little smaller venue. Yeah, shout out to Dead Man. Hit the like button, man. We know it's a Saturday live. Hit the like button. But that weekend was special because we were worried and we ended up winning the weekend. If you ask us, we left Atlanta feeling like we won. Yeah, they came and tried to shit on our event. They pulled JC off 4 days before the event went, and we made it happen. And we had the better event. We literally did. Felt good walking away like, haha, tried to shit on us. And that was another day where I felt like the team, the league, the people who actually felt like RBE family took another step forward, right? Never step forward to being the best league in the world. Max Out becomes a staple. We have 2 Max Outs. Now people are asking for Max Out. I remember being on the phone with ARP like, you know, hey, this Max Out shit is going. You know, and he like, yeah, but we can't do max out every single time because every single time now they thinking it's max out, right? But we felt the vibe, we felt the buzz around the building. There was another weekend where they threw a Midnight Madness event on a straight to it weekend, no pay-per-view for RBE. And this was the first time where you seen like URL show up as a unit. It was Drugs, Jack Boy, Twerk, Snake Eyes, Sue Surf. All kind of showed up together type shit. They was in the building. And this was like, oh, you know, and the ops pulling up to see us. It's a big deal. You know what I mean? It was a big deal, especially not a highly promoted event. They were in the city and you know, and they pulled up. And man, I mean, and from that point on, from Max Out 1, you know, you get Max Out 2, you get Max Out 3, you get Divide and Conquer, the Blue Room ends up happening. And at that point, we felt like we could throw shit on a fucking a piece of bread and call it a hamburger. Everything was working at this point. Put a blue light up and call it a Blue Room, and now the Blue Room's a thing. Peak RBE. Peak RBE. I'm telling you, peak. Anything he did at that point, it was going. He done turned Jose in a building. He done turned certain mid-tier rappers into top-tier rappers, low tier in the mid-tier, you know, and bringing Hitman over and creating that star power, kind of, you know, upping the ante a little bit, you know, putting his money where his mouth was, fighting a good fight through, you know, lawsuits and shit like that. The Daylight versus Loso battle got him sued. Now we're throwing event for event while we're in litigation. This was a war. But if you look, it all started here, January 20th, 2014. 6, 7, 8 years later. Couldn't see it. Didn't see it. And that's a testament to ARP's resiliency. ARP was in the line of boxing, right? A lot of people don't know that. I think he always laughs when he says that because he knows that's something that he told me over a decade ago and I didn't forget it. And I did not forget it. So he laughs when I say it. Like, look at Froze, man. I didn't think he knows what I was doing before battle rap. Yeah, I do. Staten Island ball. For sure I do. You know why? Because he ran his fucking league like a boxing company. He always said we weren't a battle league, we were a brand. And I always understood what that meant because I knew what his boxing background was. So we don't want to create a battle league. We want to be a brand that throws battle events. HBO, Showtime. What's that shit called, bros? That came around in The Zone. Right? Yeah, we play movies here. We do other shit here too. But no, we don't want to be a battle league. We want to be a brand that puts on battle events and big pay-per-views. And that was his goal, to grow the channel. You know how many events he did that weren't pay-per-view? There were a lot of the earlier days, there were no pay-per-view in battle rap or for RBE. But he was building it. Your validations, you lift his souls, your blood, sweat, and tears. All YouTube work, no pay-per-view yet. To be able to now turn a channel into a big promotional tool to sell pay-per-views, just like boxing. Just like boxing. I'm a boxing fan, and that's always what I was inspired, how he was able to do that. How he was able to turn it into a promo company, and depending on what matchups he makes is how much money he's going to get off pay-per-view. RBE was never really interested in door sales. That's what he meant by paying his dues. So I'm going to take loss after loss after loss after loss, but I'm growing this brand. We went from local. Now we're getting regional. We're still spending money, but damn it, we're getting ticket sales from one state. Now we're up to 7 states. Now we're up to 12 states, 15 states. The brand is growing. Is it really losing money at that point? Okay, we might have been in the red on this event. We might have broke even here, red here, red here. So no ducats is coming in, but we're setting up for a big bang to be able to do a max out. 1, 2, 3. To be able to do a divide and conquer. 1, 2. He's a fucking genius. He's a fucking genius. He really is. He is. He was so smart in how he did it. To duplicate the boxing formula. ARP was never a league owner. He was a promoter. He was a promoter. He even negotiated and booked the shit like a boxing promoter. The individual matchups. Okay, well, listen, here, hold on. Let me know. I don't want to get too far into the business, but he's retired. Like, I'll give you an example. All right, Froze, I'm going to give you this for this battle. You know, that's the number we agree on. Then I might kill that battle, right above my means or my rank. Are we going to spin back with T-Rex? Now, listen, I know you did great last battle. You did. And I know you probably feel like you deserve a pay increase. You do. I'm going to jump 4 or 5 steps and give you T-Rex right now. T-Rex costs a lot of money. A shit ton more money than your last opponent did. So I'm going to pay you the same I did as the last battle, but we got an opportunity here with Rex. Those opportunities were gold for any guy. Mad RBE guys will tell you the same thing. That's how they're, you show offs getting arsenals, and he had no business battling Math Hoffa when he did. He had no show off, had no fucking business battling Math Hoffa when he got to battle Math. That literally kind of catapulted his career to make him a pro. He had other battles. I'm not saying he didn't. But I know where Show Off was and what leagues he were battling on and what he was doing as far as his battle career before ARP actually invested in him. He single-handedly, like, Oops. What he did with Oops, he literally was playing 2K, went into the options, hit create a player, and then created Oops. Mad love for Oops. I was never a big Oops fan. But I thought, and that doesn't mean he's not good, I just thought the way he was able to take a battler who was not looked at as that good over here and make him serviceable and make him can make him look like a guy over here. That's branding. That's branding. That's knowing, okay, we can make this guy look bigger here. We do here. You know what? Shit, we probably owe him a couple more money here. But you know what? He might be ready. Let's get him a big matchup. Boom, keep the money the same. All types of shit. Just, it was smart. It was smart. He was never a battle league. It was a promotion. He should tell these niggas that too. I'm RBE for life. It's like, all right, you know, that's the brand. We ain't no league. This shit ain't gonna be forever. And he used that format from 2014 up until 2013 when they retired. 2023? 2014 to 2023. Bro, I got some wax in this eye. I appreciate you. I'm over here saying random numbers and shit. Shout out to the chat. I see y'all. He ran that system for a decade and made dozens of guys. Revived dozens of careers. And I truly believe turned his company profitable. If there's anything I don't know about ARP is how in the green he walked away. But you can look at it a few different ways. A guy knows when to quit, or a guy knowing, you know, something before everybody else knows it. Have you noticed that one of the most lit years for battle rap is when RBE won League of the Year? Because Froze was biased. What was his followers for Froze episode 4 with ARP? So we're talking about that. Right? You notice that the battle rap dying, the battle rap ain't as fun no more, or all these narratives really picked up steam again when he held firm to not coming out of retirement. People thought he was joking. He really retired. Little content battles here and there, but y'all don't see him when they're talking about, do you believe? He took his ball and went home. And I believe out of all the losses that he's took, out of all the battle rappers that he's made, out of all the battle rappers that have helped make his brand, out of all the battle rappers that he's, rebranded and gave him a whole new look, out of all of the one and done legends that he's brought back, he's done that too. I think ARP walked away in the green. 10-year investment to turn a big press. Inspiring. It's inspiring. We do a documentary on this battle rap shit. I'm going to. And I ain't going to tell you, I've actually been working on one. I should let anybody know who think they was ready to get ahead. I've been working on one. I mean, John. Love this Flowers of Fro shit. Love ARP. Love RBE. What a special league. I'm here calling it a league. What a special brand. What a lot of special years, a lot of special events, a lot of special moments. Me personally, some of my best moments in my career and my life came at RBE. Man, I'll just tell you a few that was provided by his platform. Craig Lamar. First battle back, 2 years. Dragging ass, low tier dirt shit water Rosenberg Raw. Gives me an opportunity. Nobody was giving me an opportunity, and nobody was paying me over $400 in 2017 and 2018. I sucked. It was fucking garbage. Go back and look at 27. You'll really enjoy some 2019 post Rosenberg if you go watch in between 2016, 2017, 2018. Gave me a platform. Craig Lamar gave me that opportunity. Then gave me Rex. We went right to Snake Eyes after that. And my next special moment from that point was Show Off. I remember walking on stage after the 1SKs went. I was the first person to open up the show with Show Off that night. And it was the first big room I've gotten since the PGs versus JC in Detroit in my first round. First time I could say I was on a big room, big stage. And I got that, when I like the show about to start, we just watched these ass 1SK niggas. Everybody was having full, there were, at this point when the 1SKs were going at Max Out 1, there was 1,500 people in the building, 1,000 minimum. 800 of the 1,000 was having full-blown conversations over these niggas' battles. Lawrence hosting the battles, ARP ain't even getting in the building yet, type shit. Show starting when me and Show get on stage. That my heart almost exploded. I dreamed of that day again. I fantasized about it. Getting that from a big crowd. I'm happy to see Froze, right? Getting that 3-0 chant in that same battle, the Show Off moment, that was special. My Ill Will battle. ARP, want to show y'all something. You want to know when I knew I was one of ARP's guys? Because you got to understand something. There's a dynamic as an artist, as a fighter, and a promoter where sometimes you think, man, this guy trying to handle me. Man, this guy acting like he liked me more than he. Man, he don't really fuck with me like that, but he's a promoter. I always knew that about ARP, but I always knew we had a friendship and felt like we had a relationship outside of the business from the amount of time we talk. But still, that business relationship, if you do business with somebody you're friends with or you're cool with, it really can make you question sometimes how real or strong the friendship is. Business fucks a lot of things up. Oh my God, it does, right? Let me show you, I want to show y'all when I knew I was one of ARP guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, drama. Appreciate that. He said Raw was whack to me back 10 years ago, bros. Shit was dookie. But he improved a lot. So peep this, right? This was the heart of the RBE versus URL shit. He's in litigation with these brothers. They got lawsuits. They giving us nicknames like KFC. Remember that event where I told you it wasn't pay-per-view, but the URL dudes entered the building about 6, 7 deep and came to watch me versus Ill Will when they did the Midnight Madness the same weekend we did this event. Jack Boy was in the building. Me and Jack Boy had a little back and forth online with a little rivalry cooking up. Midnight Madness, we supposed to battle. All right. Let me make sure y'all can hear this. Can y'all hear this audio? Did y'all hear that? Could y'all hear that when I just put that audio on? Right on. The thumbs up, bro. It's crazy. Y'all can hear it? No. Oh, y'all couldn't hear nothing when I was just playing that? Hold on. Oh, I got it. Did y'all hear that? Oh, shit. I'm tripping. Y'all heard that. I'm up here cooking scrap. Fuck about it, Goofy. Y'all heard that. I'm up here cooking scrap, right? Y'all heard that? This one I knew it was serious. You should have took a fatty at good bet. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. This Flowers was first RP. Good bet. Way to go under. I smoked it. First of all, I'm not done. I'm going to play more. ARP getting out of his body now, right? This is a war. I don't know why my
Tell the bros chill. I got something to pump your brakes. That's how you slow.
Y'all got audio now? Fuck out of here. All right, I see no audio. All right. No audio. I heard y'all. All right, my bad. I don't know what the fuck going on with my shit. We had to reset the router like 5 times. Flowers were froze. We here. Relax. Chill out.
Side note, I'm up here cooking scrap. Side note, hey Jack Boy Maine, what the fuck is you looking at? Don't answer that.
So, ARP, he don't usually do shit like this. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hold you, bros. Ain't you in the bathroom shitting? Why you commenting to me while you sitting on the toilet? That's mad weird to me. Super mad weird.
Don't answer that. Because usually I don't talk to Herbs. You 90 pounds soaking wet. You don't want to take that walk with Bird. Now back to you. No, fuck that. Back to you. I put him...
Hold up. I'm gonna let it play. I was setting it up. There was parts of it, right? There was parts of it. It was, ARP got out of his body here. Y'all didn't see him ad-lib? You ain't see him ad-lib a bar? Look at him.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Because usually I don't talk to Herbs. You 90.
He's telling Jack, he'll fuck you up. He'll fuck you. He is telling him that. He is cutting me off. He's now cutting my bars off. He's now talking over my bars, right? Peep to bring it back though. Look when he started wilding on Jack Boy. He icing him too. He never stopped looking at him.
Pound soaking wet. You don't want to take that walk with Bird. Now back to you. No, fuck that. Back to you. I put him.
Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up.
Walk with Bird.
Look on the back to you.
No, fuck that. Back to you. I put him.
I said back to you. No, fuck that. Back to you. He talking about nigga. He like that was speaking for A. That's when I knew I was one of his guys for real, man. I ain't gonna hold you. That was a special moment. I always loved that part about the Ill Will battle in the third round when I was like, I felt like in the heat of a war that you're just a soldier in, right? You're just a soldier in, and sometimes you gotta go fight for causes that you might not understand, right? But you understood that there was a fight. So, when I start talking to Jack Boy and he kind of just got out of his body, because ARP's cool, he's smart, he thinks, and he don't usually behave like that. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Like him versus Arsenal, a couple battles you might be able to, pick out, but it's very rare in the 500 battles that he has produced, right? Where he get out of his body like that. But Ops was in the building and Froze was talking for him. Special time, man. And a lot of rappers will tell you stories like that. Special times that they had by working with RBE. A lot of people careers got revived, and there was opportunities for you to make something of yourself. No RBE, there's no Frozenberg TV. Right? Like I would have never made it that far to even be able to start working with Easy. And, then, we stopped doing the podcast, but the channel starts popping. And, I would have never made it to that point. I would have never got the Charlie Clips battle, the AD line that's been viral, over 10 million views all over. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then seeing celebrities and shit like that, commenting under it, fire emojis and shit like that. Sometimes you just want a little love. Sometimes you just want a little recognition. And he provided a platform for so many to be able to get do-overs. Sometimes you fuck up the first time. Sometimes you don't get it right. Sometimes you make crucial mistakes. Sometimes you fuck your future up like that. And there is not RBEs that come around every time. This was that special time for so many guys. And I know all these guys don't have channels, but hopefully I can speak for some of them, the Gyms, the Show Offs, the Oops, the JCs, the old Reds, guys who are able to jump back and forth, get a little dry over here, come back over here and get their name right and shit like that. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. All the guys will tell you this. All the honest guys will tell you this. And then seeing them go from that to a powerhouse and to walk away on top. Did you notice they retired after they won League of the Year? One time. One time. That's the definition of it. What?
We didn't turn it on. Shout out to the chat. They got a free show today.
Now let me ask you a question. Didn't turn the ads on, right? Telling me that while I'm in the middle of cooking. I didn't really think that was a good time. Second of all, on the rewatch, everybody who missed a live, all them views, they'll get ads, right? Okay, cool. All those battlers, Ill Will, Big K. These are superstars. These are first battle Hall of Famers. If your friends won't tell you, Frozy will. They're all off the branch. They're all off the tree. I'm gonna fuck what you was feeling, content and interest. Respectfully. Show Off, man. I remember Show Off's run, like he's, you know, I don't want to say his better days are behind him, but he had a run that had him hotter way than what he is now. You know, and I remember being like, bro, he was like a low tier local New York battler that was like battling on the low leagues and the little side leagues. He was nice, you know, but it was like ARP just picked him. And put some money behind him, make him battle Arsenal, make him battle Mav. And then it was Show Off, nigga. It was oops. It was just like he went and was like, let's just get him.
I think when he moved, he proved that his pockets were speed, and then he could run the
You know. And you know, just always innovating, upgrading, updating, upgrading the, you know, upgrading the software. All right, you know, we've been running the system like this. Step it up a little bit. Max Out was the best thing that ever happened to RBE. Max Out was the best thing that ever happened to me. Max Out was the best thing that ever happened to ARP and lots of other rappers and Hitmans and all of them, as far as just battle rap goes. Proud of you. That was flowers from Froze for ARP and RBE. I see some comments in the chat. Max Out 4 gonna be insane. Max Out 4 gonna be insane. Well, this is what I will say. I would have been with you a year ago. I'm not so sure we're ever going to see Max Out 4. I'm not so sure that there's going to be a Max Out 4.
You don't think he gets bored and says, you know what? One more time.
Do I think he gets bored and says, one more time?
One more time.
Maybe, because, you know, he has the platform to do it. I don't know. I would love to see Max Out 4. I think the fans would love to see Max Out 4, but
the culture.
I think it would shake the culture too, bros. I think that it would freeze. And one time, let's just throw a barbecue, let's throw a little party, and he knows it. That's the thing. You know it, legend. Man, I'll come shake this shit up one time if I want. Throw a little Max, put a little out on the end, put the 4 in his, do you believe?
It's Big Froze,